Welcome back to Dom's Kitchen. Today we're making breakfast tacos with homemade naan bread, infused of course. Now we don't want to get too high for breakfast, so we're going to make them about 3 to 5 milligrams each. First we're going to start 3/4 cups of warm water. Make sure it's warm, not hot, not cold. And that's just as ambiguous as I'm going to leave it. 1 teaspoon of dry yeast, 1 teaspoon of sugar, and we're going to mix this till well combined. Set this aside for about 5 minutes until it gets a little frothy. Now while we wait for our yeast to get frothy, we're going to mix together and combine the dry ingredients. So 2 1/4 cups of flour, all purpose. Last 1/4 cup of flour. Doing a 1/2 teaspoon of salt and a 1/2 teaspoon of baking powder. Now we want this to mix very well. Don't forget to burp your KitchenAid. For those of us that are single and alone and don't have children. All right, our flour is done. So now that our yeast is nice and frothy, we're going to add a 1/2 cup of plain Greek yogurt. Oh yeah. No, I'm not a yogurt man, so I don't know what they're doing with yogurt these days. 2 tablespoons now of vegetable oil. So once your yeast gets nice and frothy after about 5 minutes, what we're going to do is add a 1/2 cup of Greek yogurt and 2 tablespoons of oil. If you've infused your oil the way that we've shown you, that's going to put about 60 milligrams of THC into your yeast mixture. We're going to make about 6 naan flatbreads. So each flatbread is going to be 10 milligrams of THC. So once we have that all whisked and mixed together, you want to pour your flour out to whatever surface you're going to be using. What you want to do is create a nice well. Pour your mixture into the center. Ooh, that's why you make the well. Make sure you make a mess, otherwise you're not having fun. Ooh, right on cue. Could always add more flour if you need. Does it look as good as it feels?
Not exactly how I would describe it.
No? Once you get a nice little ball, go ahead and give your hands a quick wash. Now what you're going to do is wash your hands one more time, clean your surface. We're going to lay out some flour and do a little kneading. Now that your hands are clean and your surface is clean again, I want to throw a little flour here. So if your dough's too sticky, you could always add more flour. You don't want to make the dough too dry because then you're going to have to start over. So plop our dough out. We're going to knead for about 5 minutes. Just like Nona used to do it. We don't use rolling pins because we have too much PTSD.
Nona fish towel.
Nona was very liberal with that rolling pin. I'm gonna knead this for about 5 minutes. Then you're gonna lightly grease a bowl, and you're gonna cover your dough with either a plastic wrap or a damp cloth or a damp paper towel. You don't want it to be too sticky, so you want to keep using the flour. I'm going to form a nice little dough. And we're going to let it rest for about 25 to 35 minutes until the dough doubles. Don't skimp out on the kneading. Take the full 5 minutes. Use a nice flip and push down on the palm and roll. I don't understand why it needs to be done like this. I just know this is how Grandma did it. And if it's good enough for Grandma, it's good enough for me. The more you go, you don't want your dough to be able to stick to your hand like that, but you want it to be a little bit sticky. I actually know why you're supposed to knead it like this, but whenever I used to ask Grandma, she would just say, because I told you so. So it's good enough for Grandma. It's good enough for me. Now that you have a nice formed dough, you don't want to over knead it. You don't want it to get stringy or start ripping. It's not sticky anymore. It's going to go right in a nice little oiled up bowl here. And put it inside. And cover it with a damp paper towel. Put this in a nice, dark, cool spot, not in the fridge, just room temp. Let that rest for about 30 minutes. When we come back, we're gonna make some nice naan tacos. Our naan has died, our naan has risen, and now our naan will come again. Is that too much of a Catholic joke?
It's a little
Hey! Doubled in size. You can do is, yeah. That's the noise. Punch the air out. Beautiful. Gorgeous. Gorgeous lump of dough. Now we're going to cut these up into 6 pieces for our 6 tacos. We're going to roll them out. So we got 6 uneven pieces, naturally. Even them out a little bit. Now we want a lightly floured surface. We're going to roll them out about 1.25 inches thick. Roughly the size of a taco, the shape of an oval. And make sure you got enough flour everywhere. Ooh, this is sticky. Just want to roll this away from you, nice and smooth, and then towards you. Try to evenly get it, like a nice 1/4 inch thickness, roughly the size of a flour tortilla. It's a little thin, so we're gonna make 4 instead of 6. And that's kind of what you want to do. You don't need to play with your naan bread too much here. You just want to get it to the right shape. You've done everything that you needed to do. No reason to mess it up now. Gets too sticky, just add a little bit more flour. Don't panic, it's gonna be just fine. Boom. It's a nice oval size here. This is about how big it should be, how thick it should be. We got 4 beautiful tacos. Gonna make some breakfast tacos, some eggs, some bacon, and a little bit of cheese. But next, we're gonna brush these after we cook them in the skillet. So let's get the skillet going over some medium heat, and we'll be right back. All right, now that we got our naan shaped, we're gonna heat up the skillet, some medium heat, some light cooking spray. Just get the skillet nice and hot, and then we are gonna cook the naan 1 to 2 minutes on each side, nice and easy and quick. Once they're finished, we're gonna brush them with some oil. You could use butter. We could use THC oil. Right now, they're around 10, 12 milligrams per taco. If you want them to be around 20, 25 milligrams, go ahead and brush them with some THC oil. Otherwise, any vegetable oil, olive oil, coconut oil, whatever you feel is best. And then we have some everything but the bagel seasoning we're gonna put on top. Then we're gonna make some eggs and bacon and make delicious tacos. So once this gets nice and heated, it's only gonna be 1 to 2 minutes per side. They're gonna start to bubble up. All you have to do is press them down a little bit with your spatula. I'll show you. It's gonna be nice and easy. And then you're gonna start to see those kind of like those dark brown, almost like burn marks. That's when you wanna flip them and you know they're done. Alley-oop. It's got 2 minutes. We're gonna flip it, 2 more minutes, and you have a delicious breakfast taco. Could also substitute almond flour, flaxseed, if you want to make a much healthier version, or maybe just save a little bit on the carbs and go protein. You could always use a protein powder mix. As long as you're using the yeast in the correct ratio with the hot water and the teaspoon of sugar. Could also use a stevia or agave, some sort of natural sweetener, again, if you want to make a little bit of a healthier breakfast. But again, calories don't count when you're eating weed, so make the real thing.
That's science?
Science, baby. I got a body built by science.
Yeah, that's what it looks like.
I look like I was made in a lab.
like a lab accident.
You start to put the spatula underneath, you can kind of feel it nice and toasty. Boom. Gorgeous. Get the nice spots here. Another minute, minute and a half, we're done. If it bubbles up, you want to press them down. You want to make sure the edges are pressed down nice. There's a couple schools of thought here. You can flip this 3 times. You can flip it twice like a pancake. If you did not get the whole thing cooked on the first flip, don't be afraid to flip it again. You don't want some like raw dough when you're biting into a delicious breakfast sandwich. You also don't want to waste your weed, so. Give this a little brush. Got that. I'm gonna go. Sounds like a flock of geese in there. Are geese the most violent animal? No, I'm just saying at a base, like unprovoked, I feel like geese are the most chaotically violent. Write in the comments what you think the most aggressive, violent, chaotic, nonchalant animal there is. It has to be a goose. Give it one last slip. Ooh, daddy-o. Look at delicious. This is a nice little brush again. Quick sear on the other side. Do one more flip, maybe for about 15 seconds. And then we are done. We're going to do this 3 more times, just like that. And we're going to put together our tacos. Okay, we got our delicious naan done. Now we're going to scramble up some eggs. So in here, I've got 6 eggs. I got some everything seasoning. I've got some salt, some pepper, some garlic, and about a quarter, maybe 1/8 cup of milk. Give this a nice whisk. We go right into our hot skillet. Still over medium heat. Nice egg scramble to put on our tacos. You could use egg whites. You can season them however you want. Feta cheese, Parmesan. I'm going to use some fresh mozzarella. You could use turkey sausage. You could use turkey bacon. But again, we're going to use regular bacon. Have a delicious wheat taco on some homemade naan bread. Just get all that flavor left over from the naan in the skillet into the egg. I like my eggs a little runny. Eggs are one of the most time-sensitive things you can cook. A nice runny egg. We're gonna add some cheese. Grated Parmesan here is great. Sharp cheddar, American, whatever you like. It's an Italian household. We use shredded mozz. And then as soon as the cheese is melted, getting this off the heat. So we want a nice runny scramble. Look at all the delicious color, flavor, seasoning. Really stick into the pan. Make sure you keep stirring. You don't want to burn anything. That cheese is nice and stringy. We're gonna make 4 beautiful tacos. Got it all here, folks. Got our bread, our bacon, our eggs, some sour cream, some sriracha. Just gonna make a taco, just like Grandmammy made it. A nice little egg, a little bit of bacon, a little sour cream, some everything seasoning. Ketchup, sour cream, sriracha. Fold it up. Have a wonderful breakfast taco. Take a bite. I'm gonna eat a pillow.
How many milligrams per taco?
This taco has about 18 to 22 milligrams of THC. It's part of a balanced breakfast. Oh man. The bread's like, it's the star here for sure. Saying a lot because I love bacon. Oh, the afterwards, that's like garlic, an onion. Get in there. Come on.
Showstopper.
Come on, wench. Come and try a bite. The bread's good, right? Oh.
Sounds like you're cheating on me.
Don't fuck your egg up.
Wow, this is delicious.
My kitchen wench has been yelling at me all day, and this is the first time he's been quiet.
Oh my god.
A little bit of heat's nice in there, too.
I love some heat.
Oh, yeah.